Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chuck. Thank you guys for being here again. We like to talk about investing in Pokemon. That means multiple years, guys, multiple years. We're actually following up on a video that I made last week with my community. All the commenters, thank you for participating. Last week, we talked about the worst investments to make in the hobby. This week, we ran the same poll. The comments have come in. The community has spoken. This is the best investments that you can make right now as of 2 days ago. And I'm going to go through them and talk about my thoughts because I believe that there are plenty of opportunities in this market. With that being said, I am putting a little bit of effort into expanding my knowledge. I want to get into grading. I'm continuing to do research. I have some plans to go to some upcoming card shows. I think my first batch of PSA grading is just going to be a learning experience. So make sure to join me on that journey because I'm probably going to lose money. Maybe I'm not. We'll see. Anybody who can point me to some resources, let me know down below because I'm always willing to learn. But yeah, today's video, the best investments, right? Every YouTuber's favorite title. But this is different because it is what you guys are doing. I'm going to talk about also what I'm looking at, what my near plans are. And let's go through these. Let's get started. I'm excited. Guys, shout out to the Shiny app for sponsoring today's video. If you collect sealed Pokemon product, you want to know and track with real-time price updates how your product is doing. They have a scanner that's super accurate. I've enjoyed using it. The best part is the market updates twice a day, unlike competitors, thanks to exclusive data deals that they have. And I've been really impressed with the UI. It's super clean. It's really fast. So if you're serious about collecting, you should have the Shiny app. Links down below. So, J-Train, my boy coming in with Silver Tempest, SV Base, kind of bouncing around here. Paradox Rift. I guess we're not bouncing around. They all came out around the same time, believe it or not. SV Base and Silver Tempest. One out of rotation, Silver Tempest. Yep. Nearly. I mean, we've gotten a little bit of product and building battles, but booster boxes, I'm with you. The other two go out in April. And I think all of the SV sets that go out in April are up to Temporal Forces. Correct me if I'm wrong. So that will be very interesting. By the way, 151, right around the corner. Not too long. Silver Tempest. Let's take a look at some Sword and Shield booster boxes, guys. Silver Tempest. Doesn't it feel like that people are not talking about Sword and Shield? A lot of the hype in the hobby right now is on Ultra Modern, Paldean Fates, Twilight Masquerade, Destined Rivals, Black Bolt White Flare, of course Mega Evolution that was announced, and some cards leaked. If you haven't seen my last video, check that out. Pretty interesting direction we're heading in. You know, a lot of attention on vintage cards. XY being a big one. I imagine in a few years we'll see some tag teams come back. But right now, Sword and Shield sits in a kind of a weird place where it doesn't feel like there's a ton of hype around it. And yet a box like Silver Tempest is basically the same price as Paldea Evolved, which to me feels insane because I believe Silver Tempest is a better set, is a better opening experience. Probably not because it is pretty boom or bust, but that's also true for Paldea Evolved. Yeah, you might get some IRs here and there, but you ain't getting the Magikarp often. So for my money, Silver Tempest I think is a fantastic buy. And I've heard that people at Collecticons and other shows, you know, you're getting Sword and Shield boxes 20, 25 bucks below market price right now. I might be crazy. I mean, if you've been watching my channel, you know that I've been talking about Sword and Shield boxes for months, but dude, every week that goes by where we haven't had a big jump in price, I get excited because it's been basically 2 months of just total price stagnation for the most part. This is going to have a big jump, especially when we enter the holiday season, right? Where we get a bunch of SV product. Because if you don't know, the holiday season, we usually get a lot of product. Last year, we got a lot of Sword and Shield ETBs. And I think that's part of the reason why some of these prices are, there's a lot of product out there. And as you know, the prices tend to move up with scarcity. So we need a little bit of time, maybe not too much longer before, we see a leg up across all Sword and Shield, like top boxes. You know what I mean? So Silver Tempest, great option. Fusion Strike, I'm personally looking at. It's the clear second best box, $720, kind of sitting around a nice floor. A lot of price consolidation, still getting sales around that price, albeit a bit less, but, relatively healthy considering the price point. And I'm telling you now, these are going to move, especially as the SV boxes go up in price. Because why would I pay $300 for Twilight Masquerade when, I can get Silver Tempest for $360 or Fusion for $700 or Lost Origin for sub $500? Feels like a no-brainer to me, but let's move on. Oh yeah, SV Base and Paradox. Guys, look at Paradox Rift. You guys know I like Paradox Rift. Fairly underrated, in my opinion. Okay. Pretty solid set. One of its main benefits is that it's a couple years old. All right. It's getting up there in age. But steadily moving. I know since I started talking about it, right, in that 190-ish range, now up to about 220 with shipping. And selling really consistently. Look at the volume. 3 today. 6 or like 10 yesterday. All at 210, 215, 220. This is really healthy. And I'm pretty confident we're not getting any more Paradox Rift booster boxes. So, yeah, definitely want to keep an eye out. Same story for SV Base. I just think on kind of a step down. Very interesting. Prismatic Evolution ETBs for 2 years. Ooh, hot take. Hey, hot take these days. Personally, Prismatic ETBs at MSRP is a no-brainer in my opinion. It's objectively a good investment the moment you buy it. Yeah, they're at around $110 right now, and we can expect some more product, but I just think that there's so much volume and demand for the set still. We'll see how Mega Evolution, the Mega Block eats into that, but the set is so strong, set value is so high. I expect the set value to keep coming down, but a lot of demand to remain. And look, we're, 6 months old at this point? It's already basically a 4th or 5th through its life cycle. Rip and shipping is completely decimating product. People still buy it at $11+ a pack, which is insane. I do not recommend buying these ETBs at 2 times market price. I just don't. But at MSRP, if I find an ETB, which by the way, pretty hard to do these days, we'll see what happens. I'm buying them. That's how I feel, man. I believe in the set. I believe it's a really good set. I'm not paying $1 over MSRP, and I'm feel very comfortable with that. I think it's a fine plan because, I have probably 8 ETBs at this point. Pretty small portion of my portfolio. Part of the reason is, kind of a hedge against the potential of it growing based off of what we have known about ETBs not being printed heavily. But the Pokemon Company did come out and say from Prismatic on, expect a lot more products. So we'll see. But again, we're 6 months in. Nothing too crazy has happened. $110. I think it'll probably remain around $100 for a while. If it goes lower, it'll get bought up. And eventually it's just gonna explode one day. I really believe that. So I think at MSRP, it's a fine investment. Destined Rivals booster boxes. Now, this was 2 days ago that I made the poll or the post. Close to 220. That was realistic. Not realistic anymore. Currently on TCG Player, you're looking at a Destined Rivals box for $280 with shipping. It has spiked up recently. I warned you guys. I've been saying this about Destined Rivals. The volume cannot be ignored. There is still a lot of demand for this set. Time will tell how the Pokemon Company, how many booster boxes they print. Historically, feels like you get a couple waves of boxes and then you just kind of go. And then they shift their focus into booster bundles and you know, products like that, right? Or maybe ETBs where margins are a bit higher. Who knows? But I mean, just look at the volume. Today, you probably have about 15 or so, make close to 20 sold at this price already. Yesterday, I mean, look at how many have sold. 31 at 280-ish dollars. 270-ish dollars. That's crazy, guys. So, you know, yeah, we can definitely expect more boxes to hit the market. It is a month old. It's almost 2 months old. Not that that makes that much of a difference, obviously, but am I buying this box at 280? Absolutely not, dude. I got one box, 215. That is 215 that I paid for it on Facebook local. I feel pretty good about it. I'm gonna hold on to it. It's the only one that I have in my collection. If I have the opportunity to buy this box at MSRP, I will be buying as many as I can because I'm a big believer in this box long term. You know, if you hold it for 3 years, 5 years, don't be surprised if this box is pushing $1,000 3 to 5 years, in my opinion. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Read it and weep, boys. Yeah, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Evo Skies. Evo Skies and 151. Let's take a look at Evo Skies, shall we? You know, I think I've gotten a little bit of pushback on my opinion on Evo Skies. I believe it's the best set of the modern era. Most people would agree. I think it's a top 3 set of all time, personally. Guys, it is not often in the hobby where we get a box that is like a generational stacked set with card values that are extremely high. You know, you're talking about a box that's nearly 4 years old with a set value that's about $5,000. That's insane. That's insane. For reference, Prismatic is probably, let's take a look. You know, let's actually see what the figures are. $5,047, give or take, right? But pretty accurate, right? For reference, Prismatic, in case you didn't know, is actually, the last time I checked, it was less. Yeah, significantly less, $300 less. This set has just come out. Evolving Skies has been out for 4 years, right? You see a $2,000 booster box and you go, that box is done. I'm moving on to something else. I'm telling you that Evolving Skies will be one of the sets that continue to have one of the highest ROIs. Look at the volume for a $2,000 box, right? We have a couple today. We have a few on the 16th, right? 15th, 4th. These are $2,000 boxes. That's insane, right? 28 sold in the last month. You're having about one sold a day. That's not even counting eBay. That's not counting local, anything else, obviously, but it just continues to trend up. Look at the 6 month, 43%. You know, to me, this feels like healthier growth for a set that's 4 years old compared to something like Twilight Masquerade, right? $600 chills there for 9 months. Bang, all of a sudden increase to 1,000. Chills there for not as long. Bang, goes up to 1,300. Chills there for 5 months or so. Goes right on up. So expect this box to maybe chill for a little bit at 1,900. Once it breaks through 2,000, you know, 10, 20%, you're talking 23, 24, 2,500. It will go very quickly, as it always does. And before you know it, 3,000. Before you know it, 5,000. It is a box of that quality. It is a box of that quality. It is a set of that quality. And every sealed collector should own some product of Evolving Skies in their collection. There's a lot of comments about the ETBs being undervalued. I mean, they're pretty properly priced, in my opinion, but still, nice ETB display. You get 8 packs, sealed product, pretty solid choice. The build battles are pretty expensive, but yeah, you know, an art set, not a terrible deal. People like art sets. They look pretty cool. Umbreon, Rayquaza, etc. But I'm looking at the booster boxes. I want the most volume because storage is something that I think about. And Evolving Skies boxes, I put on my desk. I look at them. They're really cool. And I can't get enough of the set. And I would definitely consider buying one 17, 1800 bucks. No brainer all day long. You're going to do well. Now, is it better than something like 151? I'm not sure it is. I would probably rank 151 at, especially at MSRP above, because, you know, this set it's coming up on 2 years old in a couple months time, guys, couple months time. And then, you know, 6 months after that, we'll probably have a trickle of product, but then beyond that, it might be done. We'll see what happens. That's typically what happens with special sets. I'm stocking up on anything I can get at MSRP. I recently got 6 posters. I got a Blooming Waters. You know, I'm feeling pretty happy with my position. Got a Mini 10 display. Got a bunch of booster bundles. I have no ETBs, but, you know, 261, I expect it to go up, but dang, that feels expensive, man. When I can get something like Crown Zenith for $75 cheaper, $100 cheaper, potentially. It's expensive, but, you know, don't be surprised if it keeps just going up because it's 151, and we're entering that time with 151 where we can see some real big moves happen. We all know that PCTB has gone absolutely bonkers mode, $695, a lot of volume, a lot of buyouts going on there. So I think this is a good shout. And some countries can criminally undervalued. Hey, wherever you are, take a look. Paldean Fates. Paldean Fates. Shout out to my boy Paldean Fates. Shiny Treasure EX, the Japanese version, of course. Paldean Fates to me feels very expensive considering where it's at. It could just be a set that they just kind of print booster bundles for and then move on from. I'm not buying ETBs at $200. I have one. I'm just going to sit on it, see what happens. But really the only thing I'd be looking at, aside from anything at MSRP, is the PC ETB. You could probably find this. And by the way, I called this a while ago around here. Not that I'm a genius or anything, but, you know, it is still, compared to the regular ETB, you could spend $60 more and have the PC version. That's a no-brainer to me. This is still a good buy, in my opinion, and it continues to go up. You know, pretty healthy sales volume. Expect this to be 300 by the end of the year, easily. So yeah, good shot on that. Martin sticking with Destined Prismatic 151, sticking with the top sets of an era. I think that's a fair play. Ariman, shout out. Crown Zenith, Evo ETBs. We already talked about these. Paldean 151. I'm especially looking at Crown Zenith right now. I have a deal lined up this weekend to buy a Prismatic PCTB, Paldean ETB, PC ETB, Crown Zenith regular ETB, and a Celebrations regular ETB. Average 181 on each, which I feel like is a pretty darn good deal. And these are the types of things that you can find on Facebook. I actually bought my Charizard UPC from this individual for $285. Asked if they had anything else, out of curiosity, and they did. And we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Crown Zenith ETBs, 180 plus shipping, continuing to go up. Expect big moves from Crown Zenith pretty much every month that goes by, because we're not seeing much product anymore. Obviously got printed into the ground, but it also got ripped crazily. You know, also benefiting a little bit from the promo hype with the Moltres, the Shinji Moltres there and the 10. So, you know, expect all of these products to just continue to go up because Crown Zenith is elite. It's fantastic. Now, if you guys can comment down below, give me some perspective on the PSA 9 Japanese base set holos and the you know, the world's promo cards. I know promo cards are going crazy right now. I've heard that the PSA 9 base set holos, and even in English too, are fairly undervalued. So if you have any context to that specifically, let me know. Same story, Brilliant Stars, like top sets of Sword and Shield, super undervalued. I totally agree. Market price even at any of these 5 boxes, I'm totally with you on that. Evo number 1, I'm with you 100% on Evo, man. I'm so bullish on Evo. Paldea being near 400 with Silver Tempest at 350, completely agree. It makes no sense to me, considering what is actually in both of those sets. I understand Magikarp PSA 10 is a thing, but like that Lugia, man, it's undeniable. The great trainer gallery too. Loose packs of evolving, interesting play. If you can find a trusted seller, I could see that being, you know, if you get them $30, something like that, $25, probably a pretty good deal. PC ETBs for Sword and Shield, I'm a little bit out on. I had a deal lined up, but I backed out on those. No promo card, pretty expensive. But, you know, Paldean Fates, agreed. Prismatic, yes. Surging, I think even surging PCTVs are a pretty good deal, considering we're not going to get more of those more than likely. Shenji, Magneton, pretty sick. Destined, I think, you know, I'm holding out. I'd be holding out on that just because there's a chance we could get more of those from PC. We'll see. You know, chilling battle styles booster box. I'd rather put my capital in something else personally. But, you know, Sleepy Tyranitar, pretty good set. Just, you kind of have to follow the market at a certain point, though, at the end of the day. And the market has decided that Battle Styles is not going to be a box that's hitting $1,000 anytime soon. 151, Booster Bundle Display. Again, anything 151, going to be pretty solid going forward. Playing in the Sea Pikachu, I think this is a Japanese exclusive Pokemon Center promo. It's like surfing Pikachu situation. Let me know about that. I don't have a ton of context on it, but I bet PSA 10s. I believe the PSA 10s have a pretty high pop as far as the card goes, but there aren't that many of the cards. So yeah, let me know more. Charizard UPC, we've obviously talked about this quite a bit. Currently sitting over $330. Pretty healthy sales volume, you know, pushing that 340 range now. Oof, that was a bad one. Means market's doing well, I guess. Yeah, great promos, great pack selection, all of that. Paldean Fates, Crown Zenith, yep. Celebrations. Let's check in on celebrations because that was a talk of the town for a minute. Talk of the town for a minute. Currently sitting around 215, very healthy. Expect this to continue to go up. This will be a very expensive ETB one day. Very expensive one day. And I'm looking forward to having it in my own collection. If it goes through, we'll see. We'll see. 151 ETBs have outperformed everything. You know, they are pretty expensive right now. If you bought them at MSRP, you did very well for yourself. This gentleman makes a point. Shout out. You know, Anon made a video saying to just buy every set because you never know. Counterpoint, you kind of know what sets are good. You can look at set value. You can look at chase cards. You know, any set is good at a good deal. But I agree. I think it's better to put money into sets like 151 that are popular, that are tested, and there's a nostalgia factor. It's fun to open. These are things you need to be thinking about when you compare it to something like, I don't know, Shrouded Fable. You know, you could have Shrouded Fable, but would you rather have Shrouded Fable or 151? The point is, you're lowering your risk by buying them, but you might be tying up a lot of capital too. Sword and Shield next year, completely agree. Sword and Shield is going to make a move. I promise you guys, hype will come back into Sword and Shield. I'm telling you it's going to happen, dude. I feel like Unk saying that over and over again. But, dude, I feel like I'm going crazy with Destined Rivals at 280, man. Insane. Insane. PCTBs, SPC Prismatic. I agree. If you get this at MSRP, hold on to that sucker. Promo card, Prismatic. Really, really cool. Premium collection. You're going to be doing well. Tag Team 10s with the really cool promos. I just saw a team up one with that, was it Pikachu and Zekrom? Yeah, that stuff is really sick. But promos, I'm a little wary on right now, to be honest. Best Sword and Shield. You can tell what this is you know, an echo chamber. Vivid Voltage art sucks. I think this person thought that this was the worst. I agree. Vivid Voltage is pretty trash. I am not investing into Vivid Voltage personally, even though that was the set that got me back into the hobby. Shout out to Chonkachu. Yeah. Gold Zard, yeah, for sure. Crazy low gym rate. A lot of cards going crazy right now. Let me know down below what you guys think. I would love to hear your opinions. Obviously, a lot of people are doing different things, right? Grading cards, buying singles, buying seal. That's primarily what we do. Again, shout out to the Shiny app for the sponsorship. Like, subscribe if you like. It helps me out a ton. Really appreciate it, guys. I will see you hopefully tomorrow in the next video. Thank you to everybody who contributed to the poll. And yeah, Sword and Shield. There's still opportunities, guys. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. Alrighty. Peace.